You already know that when you query for data, you have to do so asynchronously, which means you have to retrieve the data on a background thread. This is because a query can be unreliable or slow, and you want to make sure that your main UI thread runs quickly and smoothly. So, to handle queries for our task data, we're going to be using an async task loader. This loader implements callback methods to start loading data, perform a query in the background, and finally return that data. We can also tell our loader to requery the task data whenever it changes, like when we insert a new task. In fact, in our main activity code, there's already a requery that happens in the onResume method. In the onResume method, we restart the loader so that anytime you leave the main activity and return, like when you go to add task activity to insert a new task, the loader will restart and update the UI. So all we need to do now is add some simple code to load our task data on a background thread. So let's scroll down to our loader callback methods. In our loader callback method named loadInBackground, we can use a content resolver to query for the tasks directory. We'll surround our query in a try-catch, which means we'll try to query and catch any error that may occur while loading data. Here's the structure of a try-catch. Our catch will just log any errors if the data fails to load and return a null cursor. Note that there isn't a return null statement outside of this try-catch. And in the try, we'll try to return a cursor of data. We'll call query on the content resolver and pass in the content URI that points to our tasks directory. The projection and selection arguments will all be null, since by default, null will select all the data. And the last argument we're going to pass in will be the sort order, and we actually want to sort by priority so that the higher priority tasks show up at the top of our list. So I'll put in column priority as this last argument. And after this data is loaded, this callback method returns this cursor. And this cursor will actually be passed to our custom cursor adapter, which creates the task views in the main recycler view. So this simple query completes our main display code. And if you want to learn more about the adapter code, check the notes below or the comments inside that class. Now it's time to try running the app again. You should be able to insert new task data and see that displayed on the main screen.